Okay, in the last video, apparently I'm going to make this a little bit of a series. Um, and this is the first time I've ever defretted an instrument, but this process is taking this mandolin. It's kind of a generic musician's friend, roguey sort of thing. I've got several fretless instruments, and the one I'm fonded of is an oud I have, and I decided that I wanted to take this mandolin because it was close to that of the oud. Not an oud, but close to that, and to defret it because I could afford to lose it. So in the previous video you saw, I went through with these guys, which are called end nippers, that I found on Amazon for a very reasonable amount of money, about $6. And I grabbed hold of each fret with these little boogers and carefully pulled it out, walking it out and it just kind of came out. And so I removed, I believe there are 20, that's 17, because I had an accident on 17, that'd be 18, 19, 20. So there are 20 frets on this that came out in the space of about 10 minutes. So what I'm doing now is I'm filling the fret holes, you need to do that so that the neck, to my understanding, doesn't warp over time. So you want to find some material that's going to be hard that you can put in there and then file that down and have basically a smooth neck. So posting my first success on Facebook, elicited a range of comments that I appreciate. One came from a gentleman who's done this before named Tim Nelson. And Tim shared the idea of using defunct credit cards, which is a good thing to do with your credit cards. Therefore, you don't spend money if you just cut up all your credit cards and put them into something practical like this. So, I have been cutting in strips, and I now think one stuck to my arm, another one stuck to my arm, and use crazy glue to glue them into the neck when we get there. I've lost the instrument here. I can't quite see what I'm doing. So I need to find, I've cut out 3, I'll cut out some more, but I need to find the one that fits, that I cut out earlier. And I actually think that's it. So you can see what I'm doing. So here, ergo, is a little section of a credit card, and it's just about right for these neck slots where the frets were. It's pretty snug, and I'm just putting a little dab of super glue in there, and so far I've not glued my fingers together, which is quite an accomplishment. And then I'm tapping this down with a little hammer. So I'm trying to see if this is one that fits, and I think it is. Yeah, it is. So I just need a little bit of glue in there, I believe. The other options are you can probably use, I know you can, I've heard various people talk about wood fillers, and one person suggested crayons, and I was about to fall for that idea, and Tim astutely pointed out, which I appreciate, that they would not be, they would not be stable. It would wear over time, and therefore lead to neck warpage in such animals as that. So I'm going to put a little bit of crazy glue in where the fret slot, or where the fret was, and I am gathering a little dab will do ya. Hopefully this stuff will sand down later. Let me just put it through here. That looks about right. And then I am taking the little piece of credit card and putting into where the fret was. And we'll get it in position so I don't glue my fingers to the wood. And hopefully I've got it in there right. We will tap it down with a hammer. Ooh, it's going in nicely. As you can see. Somebody's saying don't try this at home, but I'm saying try it at home. So, Tim says don't worry about the cleanliness of it, that I can take a razor blade when I'm all done and kind of cut it down. Now that's going to be an interesting feat, cutting through art plastic, but I'll probably be asking his opinion on that when we get there. But the neat thing is this is working. I think I want to tap that a little bit more. But so you got those little boogers in there. So, and the idea is that you'll trim them down. I suspect there'll be a little bit of sanding. That's a welcome to Brooklyn. There's a little bit of noise there out on the street. I'm sure everything's fine. So anyhow, you'll tap them down in there, and then when we're all done, probably in another video, I will be trimming those with razor blades and hopefully not spilling blood, or I'll be sanding them down. Okay, let's do one more. This is already about 5 minutes, or a little bit longer, but I think I can find the other strip that I'd intended to put in there. Or was it this one? Before, in my pre-production, I cut up a few strips for the purposes of this taping. There, no, this is the one I need here. So we'll do a little dollop of crazy glue. Tim's going to say, Jim, you're using too much crazy glue. Whoops. Of course, it's going all over the neck. So we'll put another one in the slot. Now, it's a little tricky, I gotta tell you, to get these in here, and this video is getting pretty long. I don't know, I might cut this down. There it goes. So you just tap it in there. Nicely. Let's tap that one a while. Alright, tell you what, I'm going to call this a wrap because it's illustrating this video. It's also getting noisy outside. But this is my Defretting the Mandolin project video, and look forward to another episode. I'm Jim Gooden, and you can check out my music on this channel. I do a range of both fretted and fretless music, a lot of original pieces. And thanks for watching, and stay tuned to what happens next.